As the soccer universe converges on America's Northeast corridor, so too does MLS Next Pro. The final day of Match Week 20 kicks off in Connecticut. DC United welcome Red Bull 2 of the league. Welcome inside Reese Stadium, along with our broadcast team, Jake Griffith. Glad to have you along with us. And we open our show with a look at how these sides line up. First for Connecticut United and manager Shavar Thomas. A 4-3-3 shape. They make two personnel changes, including the first ever start in a Connecticut United shirt for Warren Agostoni, the former Pittsburgh Riverhounds Academy man, on the right side of that middle three. Made his debut last weekend against Toronto FC. This CT United side, it's wins in 3 of their last 5. The offense has really been blowing teams away. 16 goals scored in the last 540 minutes of play. And in the words of their manager, Shavar Thomas, can we continue to do what we've done with our front 3? They feel like that will be a key, specifically that man in the middle of that front 3. Barnabas Tanyi, who had a brace the last time the Coy Wolves saw Red Bull New York 2 in that 3-1 win. Tanyi heating up down the stretch of the season. 9 goals, 8 goals in his last 8 appearances. As for Dominic Vollert and Red Bull New York 2, they counter with a 4-3-3 of their own. They make 4 personnel changes, including bringing in Paul Sokolov, and that middle 3 will be very crucial today for Red Bull New York. In the words of Dominic Vollert, he said, the CT United side, they got some Red Bull New York blood about them. They want to play fast. They can play direct at times. They want to press you. And Vollert and company are hoping that the middle 3 today will help control the tone and the tempo of this contest, swing it in the favor of Red Bull New York. They have said at times that that is something they love about Paul Sokolov's game, is that he's clean on the ball. He can help dictate the tenor of the contest to the opposition. They will rely on him heavily, seated next to Devin Cadigan, who will wear the captain's armband today for the 2nd consecutive week. Wore it last weekend in the 3-0 loss on the road against Chicago Fire for the first time in Cadigan's career. All set to go here on the campus of Yale. 2nd meeting all time between Red Bull New York 2 and Connecticut United. They call it the Tri-State Cup. It includes NYCFC. The Pigeons came into this venue and flew home with a 4-1 win. And now another leg of this Tri-State Cup features the other side of that Hudson River Derby, Red Bull New York 2. Dominic Vollert's team, the defending champions in MLS Next Pro, trying to kick the tires, so to speak, on their season. They are winless in their last 5 consecutive away fixtures. In their recent form, 2 losses in their last 5 matches. Winless in back-to-back contests, played to a 2-2 draw against FC Cincinnati on the road, preceding that 3-0 loss against Chicago Fire. In the words of Dominic Vollert, he says some of the mistakes have just compounded themselves over the last few weeks. They've had player movement this year. It's a new-look roster for this team this year. They've relied more on the youth. As for Connecticut United, they are flying high. Wins in 3 of their last 5 matches. Andrew Parada is our center referee. There is that opening whistle from our man in charge. The ball is rolling here inside Reese Stadium, and we are underway on this final day of Match Week 20 in MLS Next Pro. Red Bull New York in the all black with the red accents. CT United in the light purple with our broadcast team, Jake Griffith. A pleasure to have you with us. Quickly turning on this is Dennis Nelic. Nelic has support to his right. Finds Baitinger on the overlapping run. Yengar whips this across the face of goal and out across that top of the net for a Gunther Rankenberg goal clearance. Rankenberg getting start number 12 on the year. He's played 990 minutes in goal for CT United so far this season. 41 saves, which is inching him into that top 5 discussion. Ball keepers in saves so far this year. Whipped out wide, settled, top of the area, struck toward goal. First save made by Sheftik. A back cross the face of goal, and it's in! The Coy Wolves jumping on a loose ball and striking inside 2 minutes. They lead it 1-0. Good layoff there by Barnabas Tanyi. The initial save made by Sheftik, but back across the face of goal by Vanhees in toward Lacey, who taps it into the empty net. A flying start at home for Connecticut United. Starting on the front foot's been the name of the game during this recent run of form for CT United. They've scored now 6 opening goals in their last 8 matches. That's the 3rd time during this stretch of play that they've scored within the first 10 minutes of games. Although it is the earliest they've done it. The prior earliest, they scored in the 8th minute against Huntsville a few matches ago. A strong start for Shavar Thomas' side. And now Red Bull New York left looking for the answer. Clipped along, forward, and one back by Rickson Vanhees as Boma retreats. Quickly jumping on it is Sean Badinger. 7 goal involvements over the last 5 matches for the 17-year-old Red Bull New York Academy product. 3 goals in his last 4 MLS Next Pro appearances. Despite some of the struggles that Red Bull New York have had these last few weeks, being outscored 5-2 across the last 180 minutes of football. That front grouping, Christian Gallagher, Sean Badinger, Dennis Nelic, they've been strong throughout the year. Tucked back out wide, now here is Gallagher. Gallagher in toward goal, and it's deflected away. Didn't make its way through to Gunther Rankenberg. Modello pressured, able to spin away from some of that pressure. And Red Bull New York will slow things up, at least for the moment, as they build out from the back. It is a 3-0 loss that they suffered on the road last week against Chicago Fire. Had a chance to catch up with Dominic Vollert as they go direct on this approach in toward Rankenberg. Rankenberg was out of the area, thought about trying to grab that, and then realized where he was. Instead, steers it out of play. Now we get a whistle for a stoppage from our center referee. Going back to Dominic Vollert, though, he said that the main topic these last few weeks were making too many mistakes. He reflected back 2 matches prior to FC Cincinnati, and he said, you look at that match, mistakes led to goals. They ended up splitting the points in regulation and having to go to a penalty shootout. And he said teams are benefiting from these mistakes. He even said in Chicago, they came out with good ideas in the initial couple minutes of the game, but the mistakes crushed them. Gave up a goal in the 3rd minute, Red Bull New York 2 did. Ended up going down 2-0 in the 13th minute. And then just a 1 tick the clock into the second half, conceded that 3rd goal to Chicago Fire. Held to just 1 shot on target, Red Bull New York were in that contest. 0 shots on target in the second half. Here is Sekou Kone, 11th appearance, 5th start of the year. Looking for Yangar on the underlap. Here is Dennis Yangar. Red Bull New York first teamer. Yangar gets it back, carries it to the byline, wants the service, and it's turned aside by CT United. But a good response these last few minutes since giving up the goal. Rolled toward Rankenberg, falls out the other side, and the piece is picked up successfully by the Baby Bulls. Trying to feed it through. Nelic out of his reach despite hacking away at it, and Rankenberg and company will have a goal kick.
for Connecticut United, a win against Toronto FC the last time they took the pitch. It was here at Reese Stadium. They do come out the other side with the full set of points, but by no means was it an easy contest. Had a 1-0 lead at the half. Toronto FC equalized, then took a 2-1 lead. Toronto FC equalized again. It took the 83rd minute on a counterattack for Connecticut United and Kyle Paisho to grab the winner in that contest. Here's Jason Borey, the 17-year-old out of the Red Bull New York Academy U18 side. They fling this one forward, a foot race that Red Bull New York will win. Put in front, out comes Rankenberg, denying Nelic. Now Boma will swing this one ahead, and out of play it goes for a Red Bull New York throw. Quickly on the move. Here is Red Bull New York 2, and Paul Sokolov has to pull that one back out, and the visitors will reset things. Controlled by Gunther Rankenberg again. Blink, you miss it. Now tuning into this contest. New York going down a goal in the 2nd minute. Dylan Lacey grabbing his 3rd of the season. He's one of the top chance creators on the Connecticut United side. Rewarding himself with the goal. There's a collision in the midfield, which will draw a whistle from Andrew Parada. 2nd time since play got going that we've heard from our center referee. United really rounding into form these last few weeks. Just whipped toward goal, but significantly wide. Finally, triple across the end line. 17 points taken of a possible last 24 for CT United entering this contest. Back at the start of the year, they took just 8 points of a possible 27 in the first 9 games. Really growing into the year as go on. Something that Shavar Thomas spoke at length about at the start of the year. It takes time for new teams to develop. Here is Sokolov on it now. Worked out wide. Baitinger tries to flash it in front. Instead, deflected out of play. It'll be a throw. And Ernesto Gomez is slow to get up off the turf. Been a big last few days for Ernesto Gomez, earning a call up to the Panama U20 youth national team for the 2026 CONCACAF U20 Championships starting later this month. He has 7 career international caps with the Panama U20s, but for his club, CT United has been equally as important. This is his 12th start of the year. Right there. Right in the center of your screen, a slight collision with Sekou Kone. They were both going for the ball. You saw 11 in purple spinning down to the ground, and that is where he has stayed since that collision. Trainers looking on that left leg of Ernesto Gomez, acquired by CT United in January on a 1-year loan from Universitario. Gomez is back to his feet. Trainers will exit the pitch, and due to the injury stoppage rules, so will Ernesto Gomez. It'll be a throw in for Red Bull New York to resume play off the stoppage for injury. Koi Wolves will play down to 10 until Gomez can rejoin them at the first available opportunity. So far, 3 shots for Red Bull New York, 75% possession. They find themselves behind the 8 ball. Long toss back in to resume play. First to it was CT United. Ricocheting around as it falls to Devin Cadigan. Baitinger wanted the service, Boma stepping in front, and that will fall out of play once more for Red Bull New York 2. It'll be a throw in toward this final third. They thought about the long toss in. Instead, they go short over to Yangar, now threaded back through. Here's Baitinger across the face of goal. Knocked away again by CT United. Tanyi trying to take on too many defenders. It's one back, and the counter is on quickly. Here's Modelo carrying it wide. It'll stay on this end. And Red Bull New York will have a corner, wasting no time. Into Sokolov. Stands this cross up in front, headed away by Connecticut. Tanyi got a piece of it with the back heel. Stuck in was Modelo. Transitioning back into the attack is Red Bull New York as Ernesto Gomez retakes the pitch and brings CT United back to full strength. Retreating are the visitors. Shinya Sakai able to steer clear of danger, and now forward they go. Here is Sokolov on the left. Sokolov back out wide and turned away again, that time by Michael Boma. Cadigan finds Yangar, who wanted to give it right back to Cadigan. Gomez was hovering around in the area, now thumped it all the way down here, which is where Daniel DiPolito will give chase. Thought he had Dylan Lacey. Good recovery defensively by Red Bull New York 2, and it is cleared away. Because of the press of the visitors, Gunther Rankenberg in net today. Spoke at length about it earlier in the week for CT United. It puts more onus on him to find ways to help CT United bypass that press of Red Bull New York 2. Clipped along and behind, looking for Tanyi instead. Tobias Shevsik will make the grab. Early ball ahead, running onto it was Christian Gallagher, but the offside flag coming up. Here's Van Hees. Give and go back out wide. Onto it now is Agostini. Agostini trying to hold things up for at least the moment, wants to thread this through. Hacked away by Red Bull New York for the clearance. CT United Soccer is proudly supported by Yale New Haven Health, powering medical breakthroughs with the greatest of care. They go back down the other channel now, and we get a whistle as the offside flag will come up once more. Here's the 17-year-old Tobias Shevsik. whipping this one ahead into the path of Sean Batinger. Cuts it across, finds Sekou Kone. Now work down low, Modelo, the Panamanian. Wants to go to that end line. They're doubling up Amar Modelo, and Modelo able to win a corner out of that for Red Bull New York too. Set piece is a crucial part of the identity for Red Bull New York 2 this season. 4 corner goals in 2026. In swinging ball, the heads go up, batted away by Rankenberg. Yengar will drill this one back wide. Here is Gallagher spinning away from pressure. Christian Gallagher, Connor Philo, who's not available for selection today, both signed to MLS Next Pro deals earlier this month. Kone surveying the slip through, takes a ricochet. This is where Nelic will track things down. Over to Sokolov, but Red Bull New York in an offside position, which will bring about a stoppage. To life here at Reese Stadium to will CT United into perhaps a 2-0 advantage. Here's Tanyi, runs it down. He'll whip this out. Van Hees settles Monis. Defeat it back to Rickson Van Hees, who over the last few weeks has done a great job when CT United are in possession of getting high into the attack, trying to help create some of those overloads for CT United on that right-hand side of things. Dominic Voller was very complimentary this week about CT United, the way that they have not just played all season, but specifically these last few weeks. And he said they have an uncanny ability to force the opposition to play at the speed that CT United wants to play at, the type of game that CT United wants to play. He did liken them, as we mentioned in our broadcast open, to Red Bull New York. They have some of those same tendencies in their tactical ideology. Bowler, he felt like that makes this such a compelling matchup between these teams because of some of those similarities in their posture. Trying to work that back through to Modelo. Going to ground was Van Hees, able to knock it away. Throw quickly taken here by CT United. Dippolito is in behind. Daniel Dippolito, the cutback denied! Outstanding goal line defending for Red Bull New York 2. Wade goes forward now with it. Camrath gonna clip this one along, back over to Lacey, the only goal scorer this contest has seen so far. Battling on that outside with Devin Cadigan, and Cadigan getting the better of him. Both teams moving very quickly on their set pieces today, including here for CT United moments ago. A chance to go up 2-0. Dennis Yengar stepping in front of Barnabas Tanyi. That ball was marked for goal, and Yengar having other ideas. We're seeing early on CT United really imposing themselves in some of the wider areas, and it's creating issues defensively for Red Bull New York. It is one of the perks of this 4-3-3 shape. Creates that natural attacking width when you have that front three, the striker flanked by the two wingers. Here, this one is played in behind again. Dippolito trying to get the corner on Yangar. Dippolito goes tumbling down. Appeals for a foul go unheard. And again, Red Bull New York come away unscathed. Back to CT United, though, again, trying to work through those wider areas. It's been something that Shavar Thomas has felt like they've turned a real corner and grown a lot in as the season has gone on. And you talk to Daniel Dippolito, you talk to Barnabas Tanyi, and the thing they say the most is what you're seeing on the pitch in terms of the connectivity from the front three, as Medella will hammer this down the pitch. It starts off the field. The relationship between the front three for CT United has developed so much these last few weeks. Here they are again, the header toward goal, and it's stopped by Shevcik. Dominic Vollert's side, they've needed a lot so far from their young netminder, Tobias Shevcik. That makes 3 saves in this opening 45 so far. On the interchange, nodded down. Here is Batinger running unopposed. Batinger toward goal, stopped, but the rebound coughed up. Lining this one up, and it's deflected away. Another blocked shot for CT United. This is picked up, though, by Cadigan. Here's Borey. Trained with Red Bull Salzburg, the sister club of Red Bull New York. Last offseason, trying to roll that through the half space, and it will go out of play. Got the Rankenberg showing the full range here. Straightaway save. Rebound coughed up, though. And stepping in front of the shot was Lucas Camrath. Both these teams so far in this contest have found ways to generate blocked shots, each with 2 blocked shots in this opening half so far. A fluid contest, though. End-to-end action. Some very few stoppages. And as I say that, we'll get one right here for a foul. And it will be a booking to boot. It'll be Christian Gallagher drawing a yellow for this foul right here. Michael Boma was trying to clear that ball down the pitch. And Gallagher, 89 in black and red, just running right into him. First card handed out in this contest from Andrew Parada, our man in charge this evening. Lifted ahead, seeking Barnabas Tanyi. Nodded away by Red Bull New York. And now they will work this one back down. On the move are the Baby Bulls. They have options around. They put it in front. It's Nelic, tucks it in! Served on a platter for Dennis Nelic. His 4th goal in his last 4 appearances. And Red Bull New York 2 are square in Connecticut, 1-1. This is a delightful service from Christian Gallagher. Pinpoint pass to 92. And the Baby Bulls are on parade in the Constitution State. You hear Dominic Vollert there on the near touchline for Red Bull New York saying, that's what we wanted. Has to love that finish from Dennis Nelic, the 18-year-old winger. He said earlier this week that Nelic They've always known at this club that he has an interesting skill set, called him brave, willing to do whatever it takes to help this team get across the finish line in matches and in 2026. Getting back on the score sheet is Nelic for the 6th time this year. Since going down a goal, this really has been a first half that Red Bull New York have controlled in large junctures, 67% possession at their 4th shot on target of this contest. Just a furious battle ensuing. Rickson Van Hees down on the ground. And there finally is a whistle. That whistle shown to Amar Modelo. And it sets CT United up with a free kick in an awkward position, pinned along this near touchline. Just one free kick goal in 2026 for Shamar Thomas's side. Majority of their goals have come in the run of play. Just 2 set-piece goals on the campaign. It's Lacey who opened things up in the 2nd minute. Lacey laces this toward goal. Near post, dealt with ease by Red Bull New York 2. Applewhite goes long with it. Quickly off his line is Shefzik. And instead will roll it out over to Yangar. Find laterally over to Cadigan. In stride, here is Modelo. 20 career appearances with Red Bull New York 2 for Amar Modelo, including his start tonight. Sakai. Yangar works this one through. Thought he had Christian Gallagher. Marked well, though, by Michael Boma. Rather was looking for Paul Sokolov. And that one will draw a whistle from our center referee. There is a CT United man down over on that far side of things. Back inside to Tanyi, who finds Lacey to his left, and now cycled around in behind. Here is Van Hees for the moment. Stands this cross up across goal. And it's nodded out of play by Daniel DiPolito. That's more of what CT United wants to see, though, trying to occupy those wide areas and then subsequently whip balls into dangerous spots. Pick out their large targets in front of goal. Players like Daniel DiPolito, like a Barnabas Tanyi. The clearance from Kamrath denied. It gives an opportunity for Nelic to pick it up. Nelic goes wide with it, touch toward goal. And it'll trickle past that near post and out of play. Nelic has been playing like a man possessed since the opening whistle of this contest. Grabbed the goal in the 26th minute and continues to help Red Bull New York 2 string opportunity after opportunity together. We come up on the half-hour mark elapsed in this contest. We're right back to where we started, level. The combination finds Barnabas Tanyi. Short-lived, though, that possession was for CT United. Experience the future of gaming with Find, the first free gaming platform built for your smart TV. No console, downloads, or subscriptions required. Launching soon on Samsung and LG smart TVs. Modelo thumps this along. It is headed down, but Applewhite getting majority of that header. And CT United will transition back into the attack. Agostini will let it slip through over to Rickson Van Hees, who retreats back with it to Boma. Space to walk forward for Lucas Camrat. They go direct now. Running on the other end of it is Dippolito. There's a collision. And the offside flag also coming up as well from the near assistant referee. Yangar now for options in behind. It'll be Sokolov running onto it toward that byline. Knocked out by Camrath. It'll stay on this end for a Red Bull New York corner. It's an area of the game that Dominic Voller said that they take pride in at Red Bull New York, wanting to be that dominant set-piece team. And they have been dominant throughout the year on their set pieces. 4 corner goals for. They'll drive this in the thick of it. Rankenberg came out, the header down. There's a collision in front, and it's consecutive corners for Red Bull New York too. This ball not swinging out or in, just on a frozen rope across the face of goal. Catching it was Shunya Sakai. Now second effort, goes swinging to the back post. Rankenberg got a paw to it, and he was impeded on his path up to that ball, so there is another whistle. Wolves don't like their options ahead, so they will recycle this. Here's Michael Boma now. 9 appearances, 7 starts on the season after being acquired at the start of the year from the Finnish First Division. Played professionally in Helsinki prior to coming over to Connecticut. Turned over, though, at the midfield. On the move is Red Bull New York 2. They'll boom this ball ahead, but stepping in front and cutting that cross out is Gunther Rankenberg once more. 5 total shots, 4 on target for the home side, Connecticut United. It has been one of the things that, despite this recent run of form with the 4 wins in their last 5 matches, it's been something that has plagued them at times this year, putting shots on the target. They come into the weekend with a top 5 shooting accuracy percentage in MLS Next Pro, but of their 61 total shots taken over the last 4 contests, almost 30 of them have gone off the target, as Red Bull New York will have a throw via the change of possession. Jamar Thomas so often in our conversations this year have said that it's not just enough to generate the chances. This team has to start taking the chances as well. They've shown marked improvement these last few weeks in doing exactly that, but despite leading MLS Next Pro in big chances created, they also lead MLS Next Pro, CT United do, in big chances missed. Play will resume off the drop ball. Monis catches that ball with the head, knocks it down. Here's Gomez now, will funnel it out wide. Lacey back to Ernesto Gomez, combining around the area. Losing ground for the Coy Wolves. Cut over, here's Boma. Now Boma will put Picture something behind that, and a little too much put behind that ball. Over the head of Van Hees it goes, and out for a throw. There's Alex Monis trying to negotiate for space. The captain for CT United ends up winning a throw for the Coy Wolves. Monis, 75 career MLS Next Pro appearances, his 4th year in the league. Spent some time with Chicago Fire 2 back in 2023, and then prior to coming over to CT United, spent the last 2 years with New England Revolution 2. They find themselves in the top 6, the Revs do, in the Eastern Conference table here on this match week 20 Sunday. Played to a 2-2 draw earlier in the week to get this match week going on a Wednesday night against Columbus Crew, who were victorious against Philadelphia Union 2-0 last night. Boma will track all the way back. It was big news for Columbus Crew earlier in the week. Now that the transfer window is reopened in Major League Soccer, they ship Zach Zenge, the 3rd leading goal scorer in MLS Next Pro, with 10 goals. He is off to St. Louis City SC and St. Louis City 2 in the Western Conference for the remainder of 2026. Columbus, though, showing no signs of slowing down despite losing their talisman. 39 points to top the Eastern Conference table. No losses in their last 5, 3-0-2. They're unbeaten in 9 straight contests, have not lost since May 10th. Danger territory here for Red Bull New York. Under a lot of duress from the Coy Wolves. They steer clear of it initially. A little combination generated to free up space. Nelic tight ropes the touchline, turns this in behind. Here's Gallagher on it now. Gallagher at the end line, squares in front, and it's deflected out of play. It will be a corner for Red Bull New York 2. Good job to play that centrally by Christian Gallagher, putting the onus on CT United to just knock that out and concede another throw in deep in toward this final third. Headed back along now by Jason Borey. It was a flying start for CT United. Borey will step in front of that ball from Gomez and head it down. They scored less than 3 minutes into this contest, but since then, Red Bull New York, they pushed and pushed for the equalizer, found it 24 minutes after going down a goal, courtesy of Dennis Nelic, who almost got a piece of that ball moments ago. Could not, though. Turned over. Here's Kone forcing the issue, and now worked forward to Gallagher. Sokolov roaming around with space. Paul Sokolov flanked by Yangar to his right. Yangar threaded back through. Batinger puts it in front of goal at the spot. And it forces an emergency clearance away from CT United. You go back to the month of May, specifically the late stages of May, to find the last time these teams locked up. May 24th, a 3-1 win for CT United against Red Bull New York 2. Dominic Vollert, he said that was, in his opinion, their worst performance of the season. The layoff toward the end line, too much weight behind it, and Gunther Rankenberg will have a goal kick. Vollert did say that during that stretch of play, around that time when they lost to CT United, had a handful of tough results that they suffered during that stretch. He said he was actually happy to have that stretch of play. It sort of betrays conventional wisdom, but It's all about development for Red Bull New York, too. They start with the developmental aspect and then expect the wins to be a byproduct of that. And he said that that stretch of play, it will benefit the players in the long run. It will have a positive impact on their mentality, their ability to grind out results, to learn what it takes to win at this level. Tobias Shevchik has it at his feet now. 9th start of the season for Shevchik, who's made 34 saves coming into this evening. There's 3 more to his credit. Applewhite flings it along. Controlled, though, by Red Bull New York, too. And control has been a big theme in this opening 45 so far for the visitors from Montclair, New Jersey. Over the last 30 or so minutes, they have controlled the tone at which this game has been played at, dictating the terms of the contest right now to CT United. Things going slow when Red Bull New York, too, want to go slow. Things speeding up when they want to go fast. Now they elect to go to direct. Rankenberg racing off his line and sliding that ball away from danger. Shevchik, the Red Bull New York homegrown, ahead with it now. Thought he had Gallagher headed away by CT United, and they will be the beneficiaries of a whistle. Closing in on the halftime whistle from Andrew Parada, our center referee. Busy halftime report. When we reach the intermission here in Connecticut, we'll head down to North Texas, meet a couple players, reflect back on the opening of the new Mansfield Stadium. It's not just getting MLS Next Pro use. FC Dallas playing a friendly at the new Mansfield Stadium before getting their MLS campaign back underway following the World Cup break. MLS action resuming on this past Thursday night. Busy slate of contests, including a really exciting match in the Western Conference. El Tráfico, LAFC getting the better of their arch rivals in the West, 3-1. Now the World Cup break is over, and expecting things to really pick up business, not just in MLS, but especially in MLS Next Pro. Next Pro did not take a World Cup break. Play has continued on, but now that we are entering this back half, this back stretch of the season, match week 20, 10 match weeks to go in the regular season. That includes Decision Day on September 20th. As the fourth official indicates, 3 minutes of added time, and CT United on the move. This playoff picture really starting to take shape in MLS Next Pro, especially in the Eastern Conference, and it's a real logjam right now. You've got at the closer to the bottom of that playoff cut line, Red Bull New York, New England Revolution, they both have 32 points. Just nipping on their heels in 7th is Atlanta United, who they right now have the Golden Boot leader, Marif Kovac, with 13 goals on the season. Free kick quickly taken off the foul against Red Bull New York. Camrath will go ahead with it over to Applewhite. NYCFC right now occupying the final playoff spot if the postseason were to begin today. 8th place with 28 points. That race to the top, though, so fascinating because just 5 points separating Columbus Crew in 1st position and Chattanooga FC in 4th position, who much like Columbus Crew, are on a pretty long unbeaten stretch of play right now. 7 consecutive matches unbeaten, including their 1-1 draw yesterday against Orlando City B, who got the extra point in that penalty shootout. CT United, they find themselves on the outside looking in of the playoff picture, but not by much. 25 points, good enough for 11th. A win today could put them in that conversation to be the first independent team to qualify for the MLS Next Pro playoffs in league history. Only 2 expansion teams have ever qualified. That both coming in the 2023 season. Austin FC crowned Legacy as expansion sides. Verdos ended up going on to win the 2023 MLS Next Pro final against then defending champions Columbus Crew. Deep in that far corner, here is CT United. Looking for one last push here before the halftime whistle. It's Applewhite on the byline, lifts it in, headed away by Red Bull New York. To Van Hees. He finds Monis. Thought about returning the favor to Van Hees. Instead, over to Agostini, who stands this cross up, left it short, and it's cleared over to Gallagher. CT United appealing for a handball. They won't get that whistle they were seeking. Now running forward with it is Red Bull New York 2 and Sean Batinger. To Kone centrally. Wants to roll it back toward the top of the area, but CT United deflecting it away, and there is the halftime whistle from Andrew Parada. We have reached the intermission in Connecticut. Our score at the break, 1-1, CT United and Red Bull New York. Coming up in our halftime show, we look back on the opening of a new home in North Texas. We peek ahead to MLS All-Star Week and our first half highlights, all when we return.
Boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Welcome back to Connecticut. Well, what an opening it was when North Texas SC opened its new home. Let's revisit a fun night in Mansfield.
Today's finally here. Today, North Texas SC finally get to debut their brand new Texas Health Mansfield Stadium, and the day promises celebration and fireworks.
Opening game brought out some familiar faces to the new Texas Health Mansfield Stadium. NTX alumni Logan Farrington, Nolan Norris, Bernard Comungo and Sam Sarver joined fans and team management to witness history.
What do you think about this new stadium so far?
I like it, it's good.
What was the one thing that you liked the most? The field, the seats, the people?
The field.
What was your impression once you walked in and you saw this beautiful new stadium?
When I was driving here, I drove here with a teammate. He was on the phone, and I tapped his thigh. I was like, dude, look at this stadium just from the outside. It looks incredible, you know? And I think they picked a good location. Obviously, the town we're in now doesn't have a sports team, so this is going to be their team to support. And, I mean, it's probably the nicest second-team stadium in the league now, so that's pretty cool.
It's a huge day for the club. First ever game at this stadium. It's been long in the making. What's going through your mind?
It's just amazing seeing people in the stands. I think it really comes down to our club, our philosophy, and our ownership. And we want to be pioneers in this sport, and we're setting the bar higher. This is absolutely amazing, and this stadium is beautiful. I mean, look around. We're feeling a lot of pride. Like, you're seeing people right now walking around wearing North Texas gear. The players come out the locker room, and there's about 100 people there cheering and coming out for warm-ups. This is going to elevate their game, their preparation, and ultimately it's going to elevate their development. But this is going to be great for the community of Mansfield, and we're building something really special here.
The action on the pitch versus St. Louis City SC2 did not disappoint. An inspired Ricky Lewis opened the score in the 53rd minute of play, followed by a right-footed shot from Caleb Swan almost 20 minutes later to make the score 2-0. But Ricky Lewis would complete his first professional brace in stoppage time to secure a 3-0 win for North Texas SC in front of nearly 6,000 fans.
Talk to me about the game and what it feels to get this first win on this first ever game here at the stadium.
Honestly, it's just magical. The history behind it, our coach was telling us from the start that this was the most important 3 points in our lives. The club has been working really hard for us to give us this type of stadium, so I felt like the team was just really excited, and we want to make the show and show why we're coming up.
Once you came into the stadium for the first time, what was going through your mind?
Honestly, coming in, I was very nervous. A lot of people. I was just saying, just focus on what you can do, focus on what you can do, and whatever the opportunity erupts, finish it. And I felt like I did.
We've had three really great moments in the last few years here at Club. Okay, the first one obviously in 2024, winning MLS Next Pro at our seniors in our current senior. The second one was winning the MLS Next Pro Invitational last year, which was really important as well. And obviously this moment, opening the stadium, opening this facility. Again, we talked a little bit about the belief from the club to do this for us. We talked about the purpose the club has for you guys, and by God, you guys are ready.
After a very exciting win for the home team, many fans stuck around to enjoy a spectacular fireworks show to celebrate the first ever game here at Texas-held Mansfield Stadium, the first of many to come. Signing off for MLS Next Pro, Moises Linares.
My name is Nathaniel James. You can call me Natty James. I'm a striker / winger from Trinidad and Tobago. I grew up in a place called La Hocata Rima. I grew up on the east side of the island. I started in a club nearby named FC Santa Rosa, and that's where I started playing football. My father, he saw that I had like my shoes were always dirty after school and stuff, and when I came home one day, I was like, I want to start to play football, and he was like, you want to start to play football? So my father was actually the one who started like carrying me out on the field, started passing, kicking, running, teaching me running techniques, everything. Then he got me into football because he used to play as well. After that, I just started playing, and I've been playing ever since. I was in Jabloteh, and I was playing youth football there. So at that time, I got selected for the under-15 national team. At the time, I was just so happy just to play and just to be around this environment, and I was just so excited for my future and what I could do, and yeah, it's been going good so far. I remember actually getting called to train when I was 15 as well. So I was training with the national team since I was like 15, and then I made my professional debut when I was 18, and then I made my competitive debut when I was 19. It was against Jamaica in Jamaica. I came on, played like 15 minutes. I was so nervous. It was good though, it was good. I came on, had some nice touches, played really well, played as a striker, and yeah, I enjoyed it. And my first competitive debut, I actually scored in it. So I came on for like last 5 minutes of the game and scored the winning goal, and it was in a CONCACAF Nations League game. It was one of the best feelings I've had in my life. When I was younger, I used to take a lot from different players. I think Messi and then Neymar were the two players that I would always look up to, like just watching football, because I was supported Barcelona when I was younger. And when I was like 15, like I started playing as like a cam, like a number 10. So I started watching like Dybala, and I wanted to be just like Dybala. I wanted to play like him, same left foot, same. I just wanted to move and play like him. So I think Dybala, I already did my research, see what it was all about, not Texas or whatever. And then I had a meeting with Coach Carl. John, he gave me a call. It was like everything I ever wanted. He just told me about everything. He was like talking about the new stadium, Mansfield, showing me how good it's gonna be, the environment, and I just fell in love immediately. And I knew that I wanted to be here. I wanted to like put my best foot forward for this opportunity, and I've been trying my best. I've been giving my best every day, so I just want to continue that. From the first day I came here, I was like, I just want to play well, play good. I want to score, I want to assist, I want to help the team in any way possible, So as of right now, my goal is just to help the team make playoffs and see how good we can do this season, see how far we can go. And I think we have a really good shot.
Ortiz is onto a cutting, denied by Cruz. And an amazing save by Pedro Cruz. And Pedro Cruz with a third save.
A lot of pressure on the ball. And being hit, what a save!
Saved by Cruz. Pierce cross in front. Reflex save by Cruz.
Decent ball in. Great save again. My goodness. Worldly stop from Pedro Cruz.
Marker John for the equalizer. Stop. And saved by Mackey. McGrath stopped by Will Mackey.
Now sends one in. Oh, Mackey! How did he do it?
Sliding it across. Will Mackey standing on his head.
And he stopped.
It's another great save from Mackey.
Will Mackey said no.
Huntsville's Will Mackey and Houston's Pedro Cruz will be there. Will you? Goalie Wars, presented by Old Spice, returns as part of the All-Star Skills Challenge, presented by AT&T on July 28th. And of course, we have to mention multiple MLS Next Pro alums will be on hand to take the field in the 2026 MLS All-Star Game, presented by Chime on July 29th. From Charlotte. That Goalie Wars contest between those two Next Pro standout keepers is going to be fascinating. Cruz, the reigning champion of Goalie Wars. Will Mackey and Pedro Cruz, they come into this Sunday evening, both tied for fourth most saves among all keepers in MLS Next Pro, each with 48. Both teams having fantastic years, including Houston Dynamo Dos, who are in second in the Western Conference right now. And of course, you see Julian Hall, the former standout for Red Bull New York 2, who are at the half against Connecticut United. 1-1 is our score through 45 minutes of play. And there's been plenty of action around MLS Next Pro here in this match week 20, and there's been plenty of action, or there will be rather plenty of action to come in Major League Soccer's MLS Next Pro division, including on Wednesday night, Carolina Core and Inter Miami in the Eastern Conference will get things kicked off. This Red Bull New York side, they have a big fixture coming up on Friday. They take on Crown Legacy, and that's big because Crown Legacy right now are in second place in the Eastern Conference standings, but they're just 1-2-2 in their last 5 matches, 2 points off the pace of conference leaders Columbus Crew. Red Bull New York, they're just 5 points back right now of that pace of Crown Legacy. Well, speaking of Red Bull New York, as we mentioned, we're at the half, and let's get you caught up with our first half highlights and how we reached this intermission break. You probably blinked and missed it because 2 minutes into the contest, Connecticut United found the opening goal, courtesy of Dylan Lacey off the service from Rickson Van Hees. And it looked like it might be all CT United trying to set the tone early on. A dream start at home, but Red Bull New York 2, they would start growing into the contest, especially Dennis Nelich, who that time gets that ball, has his shot deflected away. CT United, as the half would go on, they would start finding some opportunities in behind. A cutback in front. That's a great defensive highlight for Dennis Yangar, deflecting it away. Then Red Bull New York would come down. They'd get a shot off the rebound, back out top of the area after the stop made by Rankenberg. They would not score that time, but then minutes later, they would come down and they would score. A brilliant service onto the boots of Dennis Nelich for his 6th goal of the year. That leveled things in the 26th minute, and that is where we stand through 45 minutes of play.
They say the world's game is played everywhere. This is how we play it here. Every weekend across North America. From Vancouver's mountain rain to the shores of Florida. From the City of Angels to the Heartland. The world's brightest stars light up our fields.
Let's go.
And our fans bring the world to life. In every language, in every city. One game, one roar. Sold out nights under lights. New soccer citadels rising from coast to coast. Every chant, every goal, another brick in a growing relief. Now, the world's biggest stage comes to our home. And when they arrive, they'll find the game's heartbeat has been here all along.
Almost go time for half number 2 in Connecticut. CT United and Red Bull New York 2 out of the halftime dressing room and locked up at a goal apiece through 45 minutes of play in this second ever meeting between the two clubs. Awaiting the start of the second half. CT United, they started things off on the front foot 2 minutes in, thanks to Dylan Lacey, his 3rd goal of the season. It was somewhat of a short-lived advantage. 24 minutes after that, Red Bull New York 2 would grab the lead. Rather, grab the equalizer. And that is where we stand through one half of play. 1-1. Red Bull New York looking to snap a 5-match winless stretch away from home. Go back to May 8th when they won 2-1 at Toronto to find their last outright road victory. They outscored 12-4 away from home in the last 450 minutes away. And it's been through one half of play, much stronger defensive performance despite the early goal conceded to the Red Bull New York side. There's the whistle from Andrew Parada, and we're back underway for the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, entering the game for CT United, number 15, Javar Stevenson. He replacing Michael Boma.
Lofted along. CT United and Dylan Lacey picking things up. One change at the break for CT United. Javar Stevenson coming on to spell Michael Boma. Stevenson traditionally in the starting 11 grouping for Shavar Thomas and company. Coming off the bench today. He's played 798 minutes so far on the season. New York, a bit of a methodical approach to start things out here in this second half. Mounted away by Applewhite, and it will go out for a throw. There was a whistle from Andrew Parada to bring things to a halt. Now lumped forward by CT United. That structure in front of the ball defensively for Red Bull New York. It has limited the amount of directness that CT United has been able to play with so far in this contest. There's Dennis Yangar. Had Red Bull New York's lone goal back in May against CT United in the 3-1 loss. Gomez nearly got the lines wrong, and now it is won back by Red Bull New York. Batinger putting that out of the reach, though, of Gallagher ahead. Tossed back in here by Dennis Yangar. Something behind. Running onto it is Red Bull New York, but driven clear. Dennis Nelich continuing to find just little openings in that back line of CT United. Red Bull New York, they found ways to stretch that back line out, pull the center backs a bit out of position, and then just go up the gut with it. Yangar will take it on himself. Now, here is Amar Modelo. Starting to double him up, wanting to cut to that byline. Monis putting the foot in. Modelo able to navigate away from pressure. Now Sekou Kone. Sakai goes over to Batinger with it, and now reset over to Yangar. Strong challenge there from CT United. Able to dislodge that ball, and now they'll turn it forward. Early ball played ahead by Barnabas Tanya, and a bit too early. And Lacey unable to run onto that. Wolves will knock that one out of play. It'll be a throw for Red Bull New York. You are seeing Red Bull New York since coming out in this second half. They're more intentional. Methodical was the word I used a few minutes ago. More content to slow things down just a little bit. That was one of the keys today for this Red Bull New York side, was whether or not they could manage those moments in possession. We get a stoppage here. There was a collision behind the play. Javar Stevenson went down, grabbing at his leg. Going back to Red Bull New York, though, they are trying to use some of that methodical approach so far in this second half to really put more of their thumbprints on this game and play things at the speed that they would prefer. Plays back underway off the stoppage from Andrew Parada, who handed out just one yellow card in that opening 45 minutes. Flipped it long here for CT United. Pulling it in is Andre Applewhite. Now over to Lacey, changing the point of the attack. It's Van Hees joining. Van Hees rolls it in behind. It's Monis wants to square and just runs out of room on that end line. Danger retreating. And Red Bull New York 2 will reset things over to Dennis Yangar again. It's Red Bull New York side today without the services of some of their important players like a Nate Worth, like a Mihir Jimenez. As that ball goes across the touchline, change of possession will occur via the throw-in. Worth and Jimenez getting a chance to train with the first team, and former Red Bull New York manager Michael Bradley, who is now at the helm of the first team in MLS play. Thumped down, a foot race here, keeper off the line, and Shevzik able to recover at the last minute. Save number 4 on the night for Tobias Shevzik, the Red Bull New York homegrown, former MLS Next Cup winner at the U15 level. Danger sidesteps 2. CT United employing just that midfield press and trap, so to speak. We want to try to pin Red Bull New York against those touch lines. They navigate away from that. Initially won back by CT United. That ball pops free, though, and it is possessed by Red Bull New York. Cut ahead, Cadigan, the captain. Gallagher lays it off. Good interchange from Sokolov. Funneled back through Yangar. Tightrope that end line. There is a player still down for Red Bull New York, too. Batinger. And lost his footing for RB&Y. Now Dippolito going through the defender and Jason Bowery, and that will be a whistle, much to the dismay of Daniel Dippolito, the former Fordham man at the NCAA level. Since about that 15th minute mark, back in the first half, CT United, yes, they've had some opportunities when going forward, but this has been Red Bull New York really pushing things ahead, some one-way traffic over the course of those final 30 or so minutes of that opening half. Here's still Lacey winning it back, though, for CT United. Koloff trying to shuffle past that final defender. Instead steered back over. Here's Javar Stevenson. Rankenberg gets rid of it quickly. Had no choice but to. Right in the center of your screen, there's another rather defender down for CT United. They are on it, at least for the moment, and now they do get a whistle. Their bench was apoplectic. Felt like there was a missed foul against Barnabas Tanyi, who now peels himself up off the turf. It ultimately is Alex Monis who's able to force the issue and draw the whistle there. Applewhite to cut it across the top of the area. Was seeking Dylan Lacey, who spent 2 years in the Red Bull New York Academy, 2022, 2023. Gomez with the win back high up the pitch. Agostini gives it up. Here's Ernesto Gomez. They're doubling Ernesto Gomez. Yengar able to get the better of him in that battle. Camrath heads it down into the path of Dylan Lacey. CT United losing some ground. Applewhite had it for a moment, and now Camrath switches it over. Find Javar Stevenson. On the move now are the Coy Wolves. In behind. It was Tanya. Couldn't get that ball across the face of goal. Christian Gallagher muscled down on the aerial duel. He and Lucas Camrath colliding. Meanwhile, Red Bull New York, their netminder Tobias Shevzik, he is down and the trainers are out, brought on by our center referee. This has brought this contest to a screeching halt here in Connecticut. Tobias Shevzik being worked on by the trainers, still down in that scrum of players over there in front of that 6-yard area. 9 appearances, including tonight's start for Tobias Shevzik. 5 career international appearances with the U.S. U17 side, including being called into camp back in May of this year, also called into Poland's U16 camp back in 2025, spent some time training with RB Leipzig, twice during the 2024 season. View him as one of those players who very well could be the future of this organization, and he's played well in his minutes this year. Back to his feet after being tended to by the trainers. Shevzik, rather, will stay in this contest after being down on the turf for an extended stretch of time. Be a welcome sigh of relief breathed by Dominic Vollert and Red Bull New York too. Shevzik's played well. He stood on his head in many respects so far today. 4 saves, including 1 already here in this second half. Yengar works it in behind. The interchange finds Baitinger, who rolls it centrally. Kone, the switch back out wide. Kone will pull it in, navigates around traffic. Here is Devin Cadigan to Bori. Now to Kone forward. A support to his left. Still Kone taking on another defender. Going in on 3 Coy Wolves, and Kone comes out of a crowd with it. Forces the defender to thump that one away from pressure. They'll try their hand from the near side now. Here is Dennis Yengar. Baitinger looking to pull that ball in. Colliding into him was Andre Applewhite, and that will draw not just a whistle, but the second card handed out. Shown to Andre Applewhite going into the book. Right there, Applewhite at the bottom of your screen, sticking that foot out, just trying to make a play for that ball, ends up catching the leg of Sean Batinger, sends him tumbling down. CT United Soccer is proudly supported by Yale New Haven Health, powering medical breakthroughs with the greatest of care. The yellow card against Applewhite sets Dennis Yangar and company up with a free kick. They roll it back over to Batinger to resume play. Kone plays it forward, finds Nelic. We're going to change the point of the attack. That ball left a bit wanting on that cross. We're now hammered back down in, but out of play. And CT United will have a throw in. A chance here for Barnabas Tanyi to pull that ball in. Tanyi does! Tanyi misses just wide of the near post. Barnabas Tanyi, he has been rewarded over the last few weeks with a number of goals. Pulling himself into that conversation of the Golden Boot race. 9 goals on the season. He scored in 4 straight games. Almost made it 5 there. We have crossed over the hour mark played between these two regional rivals in this Tri-State Cup. Coy Wolves will have a throw in from the near side of things. It'll be Andre Applewhite, who is carrying a yellow right now. Glanced along by DiPolito, seeking Tanyi, trying to sweep it away from Barnabas Tanyi. And now Tanyi will earn a whistle. It's a yellow card shown to Red Bull New York 2. Keep an eye right there on the left side of your screen. Jason Borey stepping up, just trying to hack that away from the path of Barnabas Tanyi, and instead ends up getting all of his ankle on that right leg. CT United will make their first change since the halftime break when they brought on Javar Stevenson for the start of the second 45 minutes. Second change overall on the evening as Kyle Paisho will come on. Paisho scored last match against Toronto FC. Daniel DiPolito will exit. It'll be Lacey and Gomez to take. Lacey whips this one into a crowd. Knocked away initially, and there is a whistle for a foul.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee is showing a yellow card to Red Bulls number 38, Jason Borey, in the 64th minute. It's Borey, a yellow card in the 64th minute for Red Bulls.
One back in the midfield, transitioning back into the attack, or at least trying to, is CT United. Short-lived in that effort, though. Shevsik will go collect.
CT United, number 9, Kyle Paisho. He replaces number 24, Daniel DiPolito. It's Paisho for DiPolito for CT United.
CT United making another change during that substitution window just before the restart of play. Warren Agostoni coming off, and Robbie Mora returning to the pitch for the first time since May 30th. 5 goal involvements on the season for Robbie Mora, the former Gonzaga Bulldog. As Agostoni comes off, Played over an hour in his first start for CT United since signing just last week. Meanwhile, Red Bull New York will have a throw in here on this near side. Long toss back into play. Glanced along, back post in front, and settled into the midst of Gunther Rankenberg, who will drop kick this one away, trying to catch Red Bull New York 2 off guard. Headed along here, looking for Monas. Recovery by RBNY 2. Worked back down that far channel. Ricks and Van Hees trying to run onto it. Could not do so. Red Bull New York will make their first change of the evening. Benny Rodriguez will come on, bringing his 4 goals and 5 goal involvements on the year with him. Christian Gallagher will exit. Gallagher crucial to these efforts so far for Red Bull New York 2. Had the assist that got them put back on level terms back in the 26th minute. Red Bull New York having some issues clearing these lines right now. Lacey picks up the loose ball. Now Lacey turns and fires it wide. Dylan Lacey has had an impressive game to this point. Yes, he had the goal in the second minute that opened things up, but he's also continued to create chances for CT United. 35 touches. Chipped in a couple defensive contributions as well, completing 80% of his passes. He has been a real metronome in the midfield since asserting his place at that center spot in the middle 3 for Shavar Thomas and company. Whistle for a foul will go against Red Bull New York 2, but going back onto the subject of Dylan Lacey, I've had a chance to catch up with him a handful of times throughout the season, and one of the biggest things he said that he feels like this CT United side does so well as play is back underway is they focus so much on communication, and he himself, as an individual, his main goal wanted to take away time and space. He also has an important offensive role as well. We've seen some of that repertoire on display as Rodriguez will come up with the loose ball for Red Bull New York 2, who will take over possession. Lacey does such a good job of helping get them expansive when they build, when they transition back into the attack. Here's Red Bull New York transitioning into the attacking phase. They have an option going forward. It's Benny Rodriguez. First touches of the contest. He'll lay it off and behind. Once Batinger. And that one is steered out of play by Lucas Camrath, the former Tampa Bay United defender out of MLS Next. Went in toward this final third. Red Bull New York, they have favored these long throw-ins. See so many teams really at all levels of football use it, but especially here in MLS Next Pro, as it's glanced back along, settled top of the area, and hammered over the bar and out of play. It is just the second all-time meeting between these teams. They will meet one more time later on in 2026, but are in the process of establishing or attempting to establish a nice regional, friendly sort of rivalry, so to speak, between these clubs. Dominic Vollert, he said that the way they approach it at Red Bull New York, clubs that are close to them, they want to win their matchups. It's important to win every game, of course, but the regional matchups take on a little bit more importance. And he said that not only does he love coaching against the regional neighbors, but also one of the biggest reasons they're important is it's not just competing for points, you're competing for players as well. You're in each other's backyard recruiting-wise. CT United, they have done so well for themselves to establish a real strong academy system with their MLS Next side. They've leaned on it at times, calling players up. The U16s like Nico Colinares, who's played 8 matches, started 2 of them. Going to whistle for a stoppage from Andrew Parada, Jeremy Madronda, Giovanni Corsetti, part of the U19s, who finished 3rd at Group A at the MLS Next Flex tournament earlier in May of 2026. U15s for Connecticut United, who are in possession now, also had a strong showing in Group I at MLS Next Flex. Flipped over here to Devin Cadigan. Rodriguez steps past one defender, now a second after tight-roping the touchline. Nifty moves for Benny Rodriguez, and now steers it out wide. Sokolov, an overlapping run, instead goes inside with it, and repossessed by CT United, who are dragged down, and that will be a whistle for a foul and a yellow card. We didn't see many bookings in the opening half, just one. But Andrew Parada has not been shy about handing them out here in the second 45 minutes. Right there at the final end of it. Robbie Mora taken down and able to earn another whistle for CT United. Sekou Kone shown the yellow. That makes Bori and Kone 2 players for Red Bull New York carrying yellows. Christian Gallagher, who had the assist in the first half, he was also on a yellow but has been since subbed out in favor of Benny Rodriguez. Here is CT United, a turn of possession for them. Despite some of the stoppages we've seen due to injuries, due to fouls, it still has been a pretty free-flowing contest as Van Hees will whip this in, ricocheting around. It's Lacey now, doubles back. Lacey goes back wide with it. Headed down here by Red Bull New York. Thumped back in. Well done by Javar Stevenson, stepping up, forcing Red Bull New York into a turnover, and CT United will get a throw in out of it.
In the 72nd minute. It's Kone, yellow card for Red Bull in the 72nd minute.
Errant pass here for Red Bull New York. Monis over to Applewhite, funneled ahead. Tanyi, good first touch. Tanyi's effort blocked again by Red Bull New York. Applewhite will have the throw. CT United, they've shown a little bit something different in terms today of how they've tried to break down Red Bull New York compared to how they have broken down their last couple of opponents these last few weeks in MLS Next Pro. That's driven away for the clearance by Red Bull New York. CT United, they have not been able to play their fast, up-tempo game time and again that they would want to play. They've not been able to play that direct Route 1 style of football that netted them 2 of their 3 goals last weekend against Toronto FC. It's been slower. It's been more difficult for CT United to come up with answers against Red Bull New York. But one of the things that they have been able to use to their advantage, they've been getting Rickson Van Hees high into the attack to create overloads on the right. Meanwhile, here's Yengar coming up from the right. Rodriguez, the cutback in front, won't make its way to goal, and it is cleared by CT United. Back to the well, Red Bull New York go. They have it in the wide area. Looking for Sokolov. Under duress from Robbie Mora. Sokolov gives it up. Deflected ball, falls out of play. It'll be a throw. There's a look back at the last opportunity for Red Bull New York. A wonderful cutback there from Benny Rodriguez. But a lot of congestion in front of goal. And the shot didn't make its way through. Meanwhile, changes coming for both teams. CT United will make their 4th substitution of the evening, and it's one
that Red Bull New York fans will be quite familiar with. Ibrahim Kassoule, the club's all-time leader in goals at Red Bull New York, with 30 in his career, will come on for just his 8th appearance of 2026 in a Coy Wolves shirt. Loaned over to CT United in January of 2026. Spent 3 years with Red Bull New York too. Alex Monis will come off, handing the captain's armband off with him as he exits the pitch. Red Bull New York electing to hold their change, now 2 changes that are coming for the visitors. For the next available opportunity, it will be a double change for Dominic Vollert. They still will have 2 substitutions left to use after they do make it at the next available opportunity. Here's Ernesto Gomez, hounded into a turnover. On it now is Benny Rodriguez. Knocked away from him, falls back to Lacey, who is taken down, and that will be a whistle from Andrew Parada. And now Red Bull New York 2 will make those changes. Amar Sanchez will come on. Makan Sissoko will join him, the loan acquisition from Yelin Olympique. Tanyi trying to dodge defenders, got past one, couldn't get past a second, but it won't matter. It is another whistle as Barnabas Tanyi is down, and this is a hold your breath moment if you're CT United. Tanyi's been the recipient of a couple of heavy collisions in this contest. You see limping a bit awkwardly in his gait there as he gets back to his feet. Experience the future of gaming with Find, the first free gaming platform built for your smart TV. No console downloads or subscriptions required. Launching soon on Samsung and LG smart TVs. From some distance out, but the angle straight on here for Dylan Lacey, who has Ernesto Gomez to his left. Lacey floats this one in behind. First to it on the contact was Red Bull New York. It'll stay here. The corner coming for CT United. Only once this year have CT United scored off a corner. It'll be Lacey to take. He's been the set piece specialist this season. Lacey whips this in near post. First contact there from Red Bull New York 2, and there's a whistle at the end of it. One of the things that Dominic Vollert had talked about for Red Bull New York 2 earlier in the week when looking ahead to this match against CT United, he had said the phrase, they have some Red Bull New York blood about them. And he's not wrong. It's not just the way they play. More on that in a moment. Here's Calapaicio trying to angle that in front, and it's knocked out by Amar Sanchez for another corner, second in the last 60 seconds for CT United. But he's not wrong about that. It's not just the way CT United plays, that sort of high-intensity, high-pressing, direct style of football, but plenty of familiar faces. We just talked about it a moment ago. Ibrahim Kassoule coming on. Dennis Hamlet as well, the sporting director of this CT United side, spending 2015 through 2023 as an assistant for Red Bull New York, and the sporting director from 2017 to 2023 for Red Bull New York. He's brought a lot of that same flavor over with him to CT United. And you're seeing that same style paying dividends for the Coy Wolves throughout the stretches, these later stretches of 2026. Rodriguez able to win a whistle.
Into the final 10 minutes of regulation, plus stoppage time to go. Red Bull New York, they sidestep one. And now they'll give it up over. Here's Cadigan on the right. Sakai over to Yangar. Defended tightly there by Andre Applewhite. Yangar's pass ahead will go out of play. Quickly thrown in, though, here from Yangar. Over to Benny Rodriguez. Trying to muscle his way through is Rodriguez. Dispossessed here. There's a collision in behind. There's a yellow card that comes out. And a stoppage whistled for. Just a lot of bodies there colliding with one another. Ultimately, the yellow gets shown to Christian Gallagher. Rather, Benny Rodriguez, who came on for Christian Gallagher earlier in this half. That'll make it 3 Red Bull New York players currently on the pitch on yellow cards at the moment. It is one back, though, by Red Bull New York. Lacey comes up with it. Short-lived for CT United. And transitioning back into their attacking shape are the visitors. Yangar will pull that one in. Takes a ricochet and falls into the path of Benny Rodriguez. On the turn now, Rodriguez. Lacey able to recover back and dispossess Rodriguez. Losing some ground is CT United. Here's Kasule. And Yangar, former teammates for this Red Bull New York 2 side, going at it. Yangar getting the better of him there. Cadigan ahead, looking for Baitinger out of his reach. Short clearance. Sakai backtracks and steers it over to Tobias Shefzik, who has not had his name called that much over these last few minutes. Went down earlier with the injury in this half, but has since stayed in and has only faced one shot so far in this second 45 minutes to run his total to 4 saves on the night. On the near side, here's Yangar. These defensive rotations these last few minutes have been strong for CT United. Mora, though, getting shown a whistle as he collides with Sekou Kone. Trying to change the point of the attack. Red Bull New York, they'll fling it on and ahead. Just a step out of the reach of Dennis Yangar. Knocked out by Applewhite, it will be a throw. Red Bull New York will crowd the box again, electing to find this long toss in down in this final third. Baitinger chucks it back into play, glanced along, whiffing on it initially was Red Bull New York. Yelich couldn't pick up the loose ball, and a chance to break out here now for the Koi Wolves. Because of the transitional ability of this CT United side, they this season have scored 8 goals in transition. Put such an emphasis on Red Bull New York's rest defense tonight, and it has been strong. They have limited those transitional moments for CT United. It has been one of those aspects that has stymied the offense for Connecticut. One that coming into this match, it scored 16 combined goals in the last 540 minutes of play. Visitors come up with it now. Rodriguez cuts it ahead. Options around, trying to lump it back inside, looking for Nelic. Instead, Rankenberg will steer it away from danger. Over to Yangar now. Good first touch. Able to corral that ball in on the move. Wants to lead the way in. Deflected by Paisho. Modello will track it down. Here is Amar Modello. Wanted to give it back up to Benny Rodriguez. Robbie Mora had other ideas. Comes up with the interception. It is knocked back down the pitch, though, by Red Bull New York. This is where Kasule will scoop things up and find Barnabas Tanyi ahead. Tanyi looking to slide it through. Here's Paisho. Kawa Paisho steps in. Still Paisho. And Shevzik will make the grab. Last week it was Kawa Paisho getting in behind on a long direct ball that ended up sinking Toronto FC. That time almost scoring off a lovely interchange between he and Barnabas Tanyi. Sakai flings this one ahead. Again, left short. They were trying to pick out Sissoko. Nodded out. It'll stay here for another Red Bull New York 2 throw. Baby Bulls held without a shot on target so far in this final 45 minutes of play. Just 2 shots overall. That despite having 64% possession. Rolled back in. Yangar trying to cut it forward. Deflected away. It'll be Van Hees with the throw over on the far side for CT United. Andrew Parada does sound the whistle. So the assistant referee had come out on the pitch as well. There's a little pushing and shoving happening over on that far side of things. Now Van Hees will have this throw. Sissoko trying to come out of a crowd with it. Camrath will hack it all the way back down. Shevzik, right place, right time. Had Barnabas Tanyi crashing in on him. Gomez. There is another whistle. Sissoko committing the foul. It sets CT United up with a free kick, which they quickly take here. Pass out of the reach of Camrath. Trying to keep that from spilling across the touchline. Ultimately, it will come up in favor of Red Bull New York. And now at the last moment, Andrew Parada says it will be a CT United throw instead. Camrath going long with this one in behind as Applewhite will run it down, flashes it in front. Forces Red Bull New York to clear it out of play. Purple shorts rather of the Coy Wolves will walk forward. Trying to load up the box here for a late corner for CT United. Four minutes of stoppage time handed out. Lacey lofts this to the back post. First to it was Red Bull New York.
Now the visitors trying to race onto this loose ball. Turned upfield. Nelic heads it down. Well recovered defensively by CT United. And they have space to move now. Paisho with options. Kamrath turns and rolls that back over to Rankenberg. Didn't like his options ahead. Now Rankenberg knocked down initially by Sissoko. Mora comes up with it, and now Mora up ahead. Flag stays down. It's Tanya in behind. The rebound out. It's Lacey. At the death, Dylan Lacey puts CT United in front. 2-1. Red Bull New York, a defensive lapse might have just sunk them. Initial save made by Shevsik, but the rebound coughed up, and Dylan Lacey, have a day, his first professional brace, and it comes against a club that he spent time in their academy. What a way to bookend it, perhaps, if you're the Coy Wolves. Lacey started it in the second minute of this contest, and in the second minute of stoppage time, he very well could have won it. It's part of what, in the words of Shavar Thomas, Dennis Hamlet, these players for CT United say makes this particular team special. Their never say die attitude. They never give up. They're always pushing. They will make one final change. Their last substitution of the day. Barnabas Tanya will come off. Laurie Goddard will come on. Meanwhile, Maliko Dayinka will come on for Red Bull New York. Play back underway. Connecticut United a chance to not just run their win streak to 3 consecutive matches, the first time in club history, but a chance to put themselves at 28 points, which is what NYCFC currently sits at, occupying that 8th and final playoff spot if the postseason were to begin today. Barada trying to rush Rankenberg along on this restart. 3.5 of the 4 allotted for stoppage time have elapsed. There's Red Bull New York ahead. They draw a whistle. This will be a yellow card. Handed out to CT United. Clipped from behind there at the last moment, sent the man down for Red Bull New York, and it sets the visitors up with a late free kick here. Ibrahim Kasule going into the book in his return to the pitch. Driven ahead on the restart, into the crowd, headed down, knocked out wide, the ball put in front, rolling around, and it is cleared. Nelic trying to work it past Dylan Lacey. Poked out of play by Red Bull New York, and CT United will have the throw. We have gone over that 4 allotted. Andrew Parada content to let it play out. The restart after the goal took a little bit of time due to substitutions and whatnot. Our center referee is to tack that missed time on to the end here of stoppage time. It is getting late, though, here for the visitors. I have to imagine one last push for them. Van Hees will have a throw here. Long toss ahead from Van Hees. Nodded forward and thumped ahead by Red Bull New York. Frankenberg is out. He will clear it. No choice but to spin that one out of play. Lifted forward by Modelo. And there it is. The whistle for full time in Connecticut. The win streak has reached 3 for CT United. An unbelievable effort to see it out the other side for Connecticut United. They started things quickly in the second minute, and they capped it off in second half stoppage time with the match winner. No choice for man of the match presented by Adidas other than the man who just won it and was key to both goals. Dylan Lacey had 2 goals all season, matches that output today in a single contest. Scored in the second minute, and 90 minutes later, winning it for Connecticut United. Taking full advantage twice of rebounds that were initially saved by Tobias Shepsic. Dylan Lacey is your man of the match. Welcome to the playoff picture, Connecticut United. 3 wins on the spin to put them at 28 points on the year. They win it over Red Bull New York 2-1. For our entire broadcast team, I'm Jake Griffith. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all year long. MLSNextPro.com and One Football. Good night from the Nutmeg State.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.